Hello and welcome to the XP Log, a daily-ish podcast about my gaming journey. All right, so we're still on Dragon Quest, right? And we're still going through Sniffelheim. But something happened to me yesterday that it's quite common. It's quite common, but sometimes it can be the kiss of death for a whole game for me. So what happened was I played on my Steam Deck during my lunch break and while I was waiting in the pickup line to pick up my son from school, right? And I suspended it. I had gone through the entire Royal Library area. It wasn't quite time for me to be there, so I had gotten to the end, but there wasn't anything there. But I had already unlocked all of the passages, basically, and read all the books and gotten all the items, right, and a bunch of levels. So probably about an hour and a half of progress, basically, right? So I got to the end of it where the little room is, and then I had to pick up my son. So I suspended it, and when I got home, I turned it back on. Once I got some time, I turned it back on so I could run out of the library to save it, and the Steam Deck froze. As soon as I turned it on, black screen. And I lost all hour and a half of that progress. So you know what I did? I did manage to cut it back on and then go the direction I was supposed to. I did do that. It was very hard because I didn't want to. At that point, I didn't want to play anymore, like last night. So what I did was I went the other direction and did that stuff, and I felt better. I was making progress. And then it comes full circle, and now in the main story, I have to go to the Royal Library. So I enter the Royal Library, and I'm just like, yeah, no, not again, not today anyways. So I cut it off. And I load up Cubic Odyssey and play something else. Now, this is a scenario that happens often for me, and I'm super into Cubic Odyssey. It's fun. It's like Minecraft meets No Man's Sky, with a little bit of jank, but it's to be expected, I guess, because both of those games have a little bit of jank. I digress. So this happens quite often is there's a minor roadblock or a major roadblock, and I just don't feel like it that day, so I play something else, and I get into that something else, and I fully intend to go back to my quote-unquote main game, after my side piece. But it ends up never happening. So, for instance, I'm really looking forward to Fantasy Life coming out next week. I'm hoping I'm done with Dragon Quest by then. However, it is a very good possibility that I end up playing Space Odyssey, Cubic Odyssey, pretty much until Fantasy Life comes out, leaving Dragon Quest in the dust, as I've done before, almost 30 hours in, and then basically the Luminary getting abandoned in the Royal Library for months and months until I finally get up I don't know why I quit that. I need to get back into it, and then I load it up and I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't know how to play. And I feel like I need to start over to get the full emotional impact of the game. And this happens more frequently than I want to admit, and this is a big culprit in why I never finish things. Maybe it's the way my brain works. I always feel the need to get the full experience, and I feel like if I take a large break and come back and I don't know how to play, or I don't exactly remember what's going on or the characters or whatever, I'm not getting the full experience. Like I'm not gonna get the full experience of the story, of the emotion, of the everything. So I end up starting over, and then my ADHD brain kicks in, and it's like, yo, we've already done this like 4 times, dude. What are you doing? Oh, hey, look, this game's coming out. Why don't you go play that? Just dabble in that, and then it happens again. So this is a wall personally I need to push through. I need to lean into this and just push through it. I am at the Royal Library for a second time. I have to do all the things again. And mind you, an hour and a half is not a huge setback. I've had buddies that have corrupted saves in Fallout 3 and never finished. And also for me, I've had, well, recently in Oblivion Remaster, yeah, another game that's somewhat getting abandoned right now, huh? I've gone through a whole bunch of stuff, an entire dungeon, which takes an hour-ish sometimes. And I died, and it sends me back. And then I'm like, an hour and a half behind, back to the, like, if you die in the overworld and you haven't quick saved it, you're kind of screwed. You're kind of screwed. You're back to wherever your last exit was. So if you've just been exploring the past 3 hours, you are boned. So yeah, that's a big dopamine attack deficit. I don't know, something like that. Negative impact. And it happens more frequently to me. Lately, I've been pushing through and completing what I start. It's very, very hard for me. But I have been doing it. I have beaten some bangers this year already. And maybe one day soon I'll talk about it. When, nothing strikes me with my current game. So yeah, so my question today is, have you ever hit a technical or minor or major setback in a video game, shelved it, out of frustration a little bit, and went to your side game and then found it hard to get yourself back? And if you have, how'd you do it? How do you push? Do you feel like you have to push through that hump, or do you just rise to the challenge and just do it? I'm interested to know your thoughts in the comments. But with that, that's all I have time for today. I hope y'all have a great weekend. Peace out.